Hello and welcome to One Cool Thing, PC Mag's show where we show you one cool thing which we are checking out here at PC Mag. Now this week I am here at CE Week, an annual show here in New York with lots of cool new consumer electronics products, and I'm here today with Andy Hodge, the CEO of Owl Car Cam. Now you guys make a really interesting dash cam, but as we were talking before the show, I think one of the most interesting things about this is your background. So why don't you tell us, before we get to the product, a little bit about where you come from, what you've been doing.
Well, so look, I've been really lucky. I've always just loved designing and building things, but the first thing that people know a lot about is iPod, which has been a while, but yeah, Tony Fadell and I, at one time, we were the two people on that engineering team. That was a great run at Apple. I was one of the leads on first generation iPhone, which of course turned out to be pretty successful. HoloLens, I was GM of that project. And then if you remember DropCam, which is a little bit what led to this in terms of some of the thinking, but DropCam, I was head of engineering and strategy.
So you've done a lot of kind of breakthrough product categories as they were just about to break big.
Yeah.
What made you think, oh, well, dash cams are going to be the next thing?
So I think what we saw about a year ago, a few of us that wanted to work together again were thinking about different areas, and we were thinking, what would the ultimate security system be for the home? And when you started to look into what happens to who and how often, what you realize is as you're searching for that stuff, the what happens most often is around the car. So if you think about if you're under 20, the most dangerous place for you easily is in the car. Crashes, stops, break-ins, all these things happen. And what we did really quickly is we realized security didn't go where it needed to go. The most dangerous place for you is the car. And a little over a year ago, we said, how do we build the best possible security system for the car? And that's Owl.
Now there are, of course, already a lot of dash cams out there. You could say everybody in Russia has at least two, I've heard. But at the same time, there were smartphones before the iPhone. There were MP3 players before the iPod. What is the what is the feature, or what is the aspect that you think is the turning point?
So we had a number of goals, right? But one of them is video is powerful when you get it easily and you get it to who cares about it. So the first thing is, of course, you can't build a security system for the car like the home because you don't have a long cable or you don't have Wi-Fi. So we build dual HD cameras inside and outside to capture all the things we talked about. We put a huge amount of memory in it, so you have the last 2 weeks stored locally. We built it so it'd be private, because the only one you're going to want around the car is the one where you are the only person who can see the video. And kind of our big trick was to put a 4G LTE modem inside the product. And so that way we can say, hey, when something like an accident happens, you don't need a cable or even to connect over Wi-Fi, but the video is just right there available on your phone. If a break-in happens, that video alert goes straight to your phone, and you can see what's happening in your car. You can intercom, turn on the floodlights in the car. But for us, the big trick is what we call instant video, which is the idea that that camera in your car is just as connected as a security camera would be in your home.
So now, of course, I'm the big 4G geek at PC Mag, and we can start talking about 4G, but first of all, we have a box here.
Yeah.
I think we need to see the camera.
Okay, so the box, we'll get this open here. Opens up, and sort of one of our big focus is to make it super easy to set up, right? So the great security system that's hard to set up, you're not interested in. If we went out to a car right now, you or I could install this in about 6 minutes, no problem, and have it look great. It's 4 easy steps, but the camera itself is right here. So this is what faces you in the car. It's got a display, a touch display, where you can see and control whether the inside camera's on and off and control it. And then this is what the product looks like kind of pointing forward. So we have one camera pointing this way that captures what's coming up on the road, and we have one camera here that's helping to capture what's happening inside.
And what kind of video quality are we getting from these cameras?
So these are dual HDs. They're both 1440. We run 2x zoom on the forward, which is pretty nice. A lot of times things happen on the road, and it helps to be able to zoom in on them. And then, yeah, all this is just controlled over your phone.
Okay, so now with the LTE connectivity, what network are you using, and what's the monthly service fee involved?
So the way the product works is we have a relationship with AT&T, and we supply all the data you need to operate the product. So the product right now is available for $349, which pays for the camera, which would normally be $299, and then 1 year's worth of data. So we pay for the data when, say, someone dents or breaks into your car. We send that video alert. We're paying for the video to be sent and made available to your phone. So normally that service would be $10 $10 a month or $100 a year.
It's surprising that it's that affordable because video, that's a lot of data, right?
Right. So we're not the average startup team, right? You know, I'm super lucky. You know, when I talk about the things I've done before, it's not so much about what you're working on. As you know, I've been so lucky with the people. You know, been able to work with a lot of my heroes. But we've got a pretty clever team of people that we think we've learned some things about storing locally the video you mostly aren't going to look at, and then really on demand, or when it makes sense, sending the video to your phone. So we think we're doing a lot of that work. But you're right. I mean, it's interesting when you talk to people about where we're at and the pricing of it. If you compare it to a home security system where you're just using Wi-Fi, a lot of people want to charge you $10 or more a month when they're providing no data and doing less. And I think in our case, it's like, yeah, you know, we're building a pretty sophisticated device, dual cameras, a lot of local memory, a large processor. We're managing the alerts that get to you, and we're doing all that and providing the LTE data too. We think we're charging less than a lot of people pay for their home systems, but delivering more, meaning delivering security in the car where more happens.
So how long has this been in the market? And now I understand that you've been capturing some interesting things, and some of your users have been reaching out to you with some of the interesting things they've captured?
Yeah, so I mean, what's neat is, you know, you start a company with people and you hope it makes sense, right? But we announced the company in February, and then the first day we shipped, 3 o'clock that afternoon, we got a phone call from a guy, and he's like, this thing paid for itself in the first day. He was a first responder. He was helping someone pull their car out of a ditch in the snow. Someone hit him, tried to blame him, because he'd literally been one of our very first customers and installed it. That video was on his phone right away. He was able to say, hey, this wasn't my fault. And very quickly, the insurance company's like, right, not your fault, the other person's fault. I mean, especially when he was helping somebody. And this is what's been neat about the company, is I'd say, you know, every week, and of course, as we've sold more and more of them, it's more, but we see real people saying, my truck was broken into and stolen, I was able to track where it went. That's the way I earn my living, right? Like, for a lot of people, that truck or that work truck is their most important thing. And so what we've sort of loved is that since we launched it, and of course every week we're working to make the software better and the service better, we see these people really using the product in the real world. And yeah, we've got a bunch of videos that are running kind of over in the exhibit that you can come over and see, but it's great to work on something where every week you can see real people using it. We're not simulating these things, we're making video so easy to use that it's powerful for real people.
And now just making it clear, because there's a lot of concern about privacy right now, you aren't automatically seeing the video, people are sending it in so that you can see it.
So I love that you kind of were asking that. We built the system from the very beginning around your privacy. So the first thing you do when you install this is pair it with your phone. Your phone becomes the only thing that can see the video. So if I see your video, even as like CEO of the company, I can't see your video unless you choose to send it to me, right? And I think that's the powerful thing in the car, is you want to make sure people feel super comfortable with that. And I think this is something where we worked really hard on like our user agreement. I believe very strongly the video is yours. You should be the only person that has access. We put that stuff in writing, and I mean, I'd love to see more companies do that and be clear about that.
Okay, so this is the Owl Car Cam. It is on the market right now. It is a connected dash cam which effortlessly transmits its video to your phone. It looks great. Check it out. Hopefully we'll have a review soon on PCMag.com. Is there going to be, I'm thinking I subscribe to a bunch of Twitter feeds from people like Ring and Nextdoor who are showing off some of the interesting things they see, or users showing off interesting things they see. Is that something you might do?
No, so we pick a video of the day every day, and we actually, there's a prize for that. But what we find is there's almost 2 streams. So there's one stream of the stuff you'd first think of, which is the sort of serious, and I have to say, it's disappointing how easy it is to find egregiously bad drivers and accidents and things like that. But the other feed that you get is a lot of kind of amazing life happens around the car, like dogs, kids, pets. And so what we've been toying with is you can see all the daily videos on our website, but I think really quickly we're going to have to start to think about how do we make this super easy for people to get to and almost pick which of those 2 things they want to see, because they're very different kinds of videos, right?
This could be the best device for your carpool karaoke.
It is absolutely the best. I mean, I've got to tell you, some of my favorite video, all three of my sons have recently learned how to drive, and I have video using different prototypes for the final product. And the view of the one son trying to learn how to drive, but the other kids in the back seat sort of scoffing at my first son's like whatever driving skills, easily, top 10 video for my family. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff happens around the car.
Terrific. Well, thank you very much. This is the Owl Car Cam, currently on sale for $349. This has been One Cool Thing with PCMag.com. Stay tuned to PCMag's YouTube page for more cool things that we're trying out at PCMag.